You're listening to Brandon Sports Talk, interviewing professional athletes and Paralympians and Olympians. And now for your professional athlete interview and your host, Brandon P.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Raleigh Express WFA women's football tackle football, Chante Kearney. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to play professional tackle football?
I fell in love with football starting off at flag, and moved to the Raleigh area because it was way bigger here than it was in Jacksonville, North Carolina. But one of my coaches from flag ended up being the coach for tackle, and I fell in love with it from there.
What was that experience like for you getting started with flag football?
Flag football, at first, it was just something fun that I did. There's not much in Jacksonville. It's a really small town. But like I said, I didn't know how big it was in North Carolina. So I moved to Raleigh for a flag, and it was just like a completely different experience. I got to play on a national team and like play people from Mexico, and like our playoffs were in Puerto Rico or something like that. Like it's just like a way bigger experience than I expected. So it was really awesome getting to be a part of that.
Of course, being in the North Carolina area and Raleigh area, what was that experience like getting to play those teams in Mexico?
It was way different. Like you can definitely tell like the difference of training. Um, but I mean, there are a lot of talented girls. Like they're almost like militant and their training. Like everybody's on one accord. It's awesome seeing like the different playing styles.
How was that experience like getting to come to the WFA and getting to play tackle football?
Tackle is way different than flag, but it's awesome. Like I watch football all the time. I love the game in general. Definitely a different ball game for sure. Like training wise is different. Play time is way longer because in flag it's only like an hour long game, but in tackle you're out there for maybe like 2 hours or more. So it's a big difference, but I love every second of it.
What was that training like preparing to make that jump from playing flag football previously to jumping to tackle football?
It was way harder training for sure. We spent a lot of time in like the weight room doing strength training. We did like endurance and speed training. So way different. With flag, you just have to work on like breaking down and pulling flags. But in tackle, you have to work on hitting and, getting the strength to do so and proper form and things like that so you don't injure yourself.
How was that feeling like for you getting to make the Raleigh Express team and getting to enjoy and play tackle football?
It was an awesome experience. Like we had a whole signing day and like camera crews and news crews. So it was like a big deal. So way bigger than I expected it to be. I knew it was like on the professional level, but like I had no idea how much of an impact it would have.
What was that feeling like for you to get to sign a contract to play professional tackle football?
It was pretty awesome. Like I played softball in like college, but other than that, like I haven't really had to sign anything to play something before. So it made me feel like official. Like I said, I played on National League for flag, but this was a completely different ball game because we never really had signing day or nothing like that for flag.
What was that feeling like getting to live out your dream to play professional football?
It's amazing. I actually with playing with Raleigh Express, I got to play for a Christmas showcase in Vegas this past weekend. So there was like it's kind of like an all-star type thing where they had people from all over, all different women's tackles. I think we played like 3 different countries and 20 different states and like played in this showcase. So like being able to go from, the excitement of being on this professional flag team or tackle team to going to play in something as big as, a holiday showcase was amazing.
course, how is that experience like getting to play in the holiday showcase and getting to, of course, bring your talent and showcase it?
I was so nervous because like this was like my rookie year playing tackle, but it was amazing. Everybody was awesome. I got so many kudos. My team actually ended up winning the showcase, which was awesome. And it was like a charity event for Toys for Tots. So it was amazing getting to bring women's tackle football out there and like have a platform from that and be able to help kids who don't have much to open on Christmas. So just the experience altogether was very, very, very awesome. Like I loved every second of it.
What was that feeling like for you getting to put on that Raleigh Express jersey and represent the city of Raleigh?
It was amazing. I know the owner, Starsha, she is awesome, and just like being able to bring her vision to like real life was everything. Like we got so much kudos. Like I said, we were a rookie team this year. This was our first, like Raleigh's Express's first time playing, and we made our mark. Like most of the teams have been around for years. Like thought they were going to be able to just run over us, but we gave them a run for our money, which was awesome. Like being able to get kudos from like well-known players and teams that's been around forever, and then actually giving us our props for coming out there and giving them a run for their money. Like I'm so excited for this season. Like we have something to prove and I'm ready to prove it.
Being a first year team, what was that feeling like getting to play against some of those teams, like how you said, that have been around for years and years?
Initially it was like kind of nerve-wracking because like I said, they've been around, they had like the team chemistry going on. But we were able to hold our own. We had a lot of, doubt, people doubting us and teams doubting us that we weren't going to be as good or whatever. But I mean, we didn't have the best season, but we definitely made our mark for sure. Like we're something to look out for this season.
Of course, for you, what is that feeling like getting to step onto that field and getting to represent the city of Raleigh?
It it's so overwhelming, but it's so rewarding at the same time. Like um it's just amazing. A lot of people still don't know that Raleigh has a tackle team. So being able to broadcast that and, you know, make that such a big thing. And I know like women's football in general is now becoming a thing. And, we had a commercial for the Super Bowl last year for women's flag. So just being a part of like a movement is an amazing feeling.
Of course, being a part of this movement and this empire, what has it been like getting to set some of the ground for future women out there?
It I have a lot of like I used to coach football too. So I have like a lot of kids and stuff that look up to me and like are super excited. I played in a tournament in Georgia and the fact that people knew who I was amazing. Like it's just overall it's very rewarding, like I said, but it's kind of overwhelming because I'm not used to the attention, but it is awesome. It's an awesome experience.
What does it mean to you to be a professional football player and get to represent the city of Raleigh and the WFA?
It I just I want this to be like something my kids and my kids' kids can look forward to, Everybody thinks that football is a men's sport and, all this rough housing and so forth are for the men, but just to show that women are just as good and can play just as hard is awesome. Like giving the little girls who want to be able to play with other things besides Barbie something is awesome. Because I know for me growing up, I did not like playing with Barbies. I always wanted to be outside playing the sports with the guys. So to be able to have that on the forefront for young people coming up is a great feeling.
For my listeners that don't know about women's football, can you explain it and how it's run?
Um, well, women's tackle football, like I said, is very much kind of like college football or somewhat NFL football. Like we had a combine, we had like a signing day and all tryouts and all that kind of stuff. But it's basically what you see on TV, but the female version. Like you're cleated up, your helmet, shoulder pads, the whole 9 yards, and it's very rough and you got to be tough and have a lot of determination. But it's good to watch. It's fun to watch, and sometimes I think it's more entertaining than men's football.
Who are some of the teams in the conferences that you play against?
We play against like Virginia Panthers, DC. I think we played like Tennessee. I can't think of all the actual names, but we played a good amount of people. And there's a lot of teams in WFA that we haven't seen that I'm looking forward to seeing this year or this upcoming season. But there's a lot of teams in the WFA.
Of course, what is that home game atmosphere like when you go and you play against teams like New York Wolves and DC Divas
Playing them at home or playing like in their state.
in home?
And home, it's awesome because we know we have our fans, we have, our community who comes out and like seeing your name on a poster board and people cheering for you is always amazing and always gives you that extra motivation and push to like go a little bit harder on the field.
Of course, what is that atmosphere like when you go away to play teams like Alabama Fire and the main team?
Going away is it's a little more pressure because you don't have, as much support as you do at home, of course. But it's always a good feeling to be able to give them a run for their money on their own turf. Like I like the motivation of, haters and junk talking. I love talking junk, so it gives me a little bit of motivation. So it's always fun. It's all love during the game. We talk junk on the field, but we're all loving and caring after the games. So
What are some of your game day routines and rituals to prepare for game day?
I kind of just go through a checklist, like make sure I have all of my things. I probably check my bag 4 or 5 times before I actually go to the field just to make sure I have all of my stuff. Um, we have a motivating talk in the locker room with each other, lift each other up. We share snacks and then everything's like we're all one. So we do everything as a team. We enter the locker room, we exit the locker room, all that stuff as a team. Like just making sure that we're all on the same page and we have each other back is like the main thing because we have to have each other backs on the field.
What is that atmosphere like when you play teams like the Boston Renegades, and what has that been like getting to play them?
It's like I said, it's a lot. They have a lot more fan base than we do because like they've been around for some time and we're fairly new. So getting to see like the difference and like their camaraderie and how they gel together compared to us, it's a little bit of a different, but it just makes me excited to see like where we can be with a little bit more practice and a little bit more years under our belt.
Who are some of the football players that you look up to in the football community?
Um, in women's football, Amber Clark, she played for the USA flag team and just won that USA title for them. And I had the honor of training with her before, so she is like number one role model right now in this women's football world.
Of course, what is that atmosphere like when you go with your team and get to share the field with people like Kate Wilson?
Oh, I love my teammates. We're one big family, so like I said, we have our each other's back outside the field. It's just as important to have each other's back on the field, and we make sure it's known like we're really good friends on and off the field, and that's family. Like I would go to war for my sister and my parents. I would go to war for those girls on the field.
What are some of the things that you've learned so far with playing tackle football?
It's very important to like kind of just know where you're at on the field, like know your position, know your one of 11, and just be aware. Like field awareness is important, because I could be paying attention to one thing over here and then get hit hard from the other side. So it's just I learned to just very much be like have my head on a swivel, be aware of the whole field because it's not like that in flag. I don't have to worry about getting taken to the ground. I just got to worry about my flag being pulled. But in tackle, it's a little bit different because you're actually getting hit out there. But definitely learned a lot in tackle that I can take to flag or any other level of football.
What have been some of your favorite memories and moments getting to play for the Raleigh Express?
I think my favorite memory would be the first time I like caught the ball and, was able to run. I kind of didn't run behind my blocks, but just the first real play that I got to do when I caught the ball and, actually being taken to the ground. You have nerves playing in a game until you get that first hit. And once you get that first hit out the way, it's not so bad anymore.
Of course, when you got that first catch, what was that feeling like receiving that first catch and running and hopefully getting a touchdown and stuff?
Hopes is always to get a touchdown, or to gain as many yards as possible. So I had a million things going through my head, like trying to scan, figure out which the best way to go, and trying to figure out where my people were and making sure I wasn't running into enemy territory or where all my defensive players were. But it was awesome. It was a lot to, like I said, it was a lot to think about. It was like, oh my gosh, I got the ball. Like now I have to figure out what to do with it.
What has been your moment I made it moment throughout your career as a professional football player?
I don't think I really had an I made it moment until this past weekend when I played in the showcase. Like I had some good games. I think my best game stat wise was our last game of the season. But I didn't really have an I made it moment until playing in the showcase this weekend and being around all the girls from the different countries and states, and then hearing my name on the speakers and just getting cheered on and all the love received from everybody. That was like my really I made it in tackle moment.
What is it like getting to meet your fans and having them ask for your autographs and photos with you?
Like I said, it was a crazy experience that people knew who I was. So that's amazing. Like I always am my biggest critic with this football thing. Like I always think I could do better, or I'm not playing well enough, or I'm not as big as somebody else. But just people knowing who I am and knowing who Raleigh Express is and like seeing us on the map is an amazing feeling. Like it's undescribable, honestly. Like I said, I'm my biggest critic, so just somebody knowing who I am is amazing.
What are some of your future plans as a professional football player, and what are some of your future plans as a football player for the Raleigh Express?
Definitely working on getting a ring. Like that is in the plans. I want to get a ring, but I'm definitely doing some more training and just making sure that I have my football IQ down. This will be my second year, Raleigh Express's second year in the WFA, and we're really trying to make a mark. We made a kind of a mark last year, especially being a rookie team. But definitely plan on bringing it all we got this season, and definitely putting some scores on the boards and taking some victories home.
For my listeners out there that are looking to be women's tackle football players, what process would they have to go through?
Just look in your local city or your local whatever state you're in. I'm sure there's a team. There's tryouts all the time. I think tryouts most people have National Tryout Day, but you can also try out afterwards before the season starts. I know there's a cutoff, but I know the season doesn't start till like springtime, so you can always look at your local cities and states, even through the flag community. They most of the time they have access to like the tackle world through flag. So just got to get out there and do some research. Most teams have IGs or Facebooks and things like that you can search up on. So it's amazing. Go search up WFA. I know there's a couple different leagues out there, but yeah, you do some research, you'll be amazed what you can find. It's way bigger than it seems.
What advice would you give those female athletes that are looking to get into the world of tackle football?
I would say go for it. A lot of people don't play tackle because they're scared or they're nervous and they think it hurts. But I would say go for it. You never know until you try. Like I wasn't expecting to fall in love with tackle as much as I did, but I absolutely love it. Like I said, it was nerves the first time, but once I got that first hit out the way, it's not bad at all. Like I love every moment of it. So I would say if you're thinking about it, go ahead and go for it. Like if it's a thought in your mind, you might as well take the leap and do it. You will not regret it.
What advice would you give those people out there that are transitioning from playing flag football to tackle football?
The transition is a little different, but I would just say stick with it. A lot of flag people, get discouraged because it's a different ball game than flag. But, the knowledge of football is what you need. If you play flag, you have football knowledge already. You just have to pick up a few, different techniques, but football is football, man. I love every second of it. And I think if you're transitioning from flag to tackle, then you'll love it too. Like I said, as long as you have some football IQ, you'll be great.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media?
You can find me on Instagram at Tay underscore JENEA underscore 24, Tay Janae 24, or on Facebook at Chante Kearney.
Where can my listeners find the Raleigh Express out on social media too?
Raleigh Express also has an Instagram page and a Facebook page. You can just search Raleigh Express and they'll pop up.
Thank you again, Chante Kendrick, for your interview, and best of luck in your future with the Raleigh Express in the women's tackle football.
Thank you.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon. You can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Chante, for your interview, and best luck in your future.
Thanks.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.